reason. Creating a room. What's up? Bring the popcorn. Thanks for popping in. Oh. There he is. Let's cross some.
Yo, I wonder why my sound just cut out.
Oh, I just kicked my camera.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with, like, all of a sudden my Bluetooth's not working. I mean, I can hear you, but it's weird. It was just working when I was watching you. It was working fine. It's always something.
Yeah, it was like, screw this guy, this short little jerk.
Yeah, I'm turning it off. I'm going to see if I can get back on. Hold on 1 second. We should be good. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
girl at work. I've had, man, I do love my job. I know I've said it's very stressful. I do really enjoy my new job. But I had 2 employees today. One of them, her mother was given a week to live. And then the other one, her brother went on a ventilator today. And she just texted me saying he's doing better, so I want to respond to her real quick.
Yeah, of course. That's what real bosses do. So.
Well, I put people first. I know that's not the best thing in business, but I feel like if you put people first, business will come. And
Should.
You know, she called me today and said, you know, and this is a store that I've had a lot of issues keeping staffed. She said, hey, my brother's he's like not doing well. She was in tears. I said, no more. Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Go take care of your family. Call me when you can come back to work. I'm gonna do
the work will still be there. So.
Right. Well, not really. I mean, we only have 3 more weeks of work.
Well, you know.
And that's what she was stressing over was we're at the end of the season, and she's like, you know, what do I do? And so, but I'm never going to tell somebody don't be there for your brother or your family, right? So,
yeah, right. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I ate, I told you I was making dinner. I made tacos. I ate a bunch of, it made them really fast and ate them. Yo, what's up, Alex? I got a post I'm going to put up tomorrow. Alex, you missed it. When I did Crossfire on last Thursday, one of the questions somebody asked me is to create a indie hero team using 6 heroes, and Atomic Girl was one of them. So I chose her as the youngest member, but quite possibly one of the most, because it was a group of heroes that were all individually immensely powerful. So I put them on a team, and she was definitely one of them. So I just want to tell you that. I'm going to make a post about it because I thought it was. I'm very proud of the team I created. So.
Is that the one you and I were talking about?
Yeah, the Power Set 6. Yeah.
What up, man?
I really think like that would be like a really like badass team. Yeah, pretty cool.
Oh man, yeah. So I did break the mark again, thanks to a few backers. We are back on track. Yep. It was that part of the campaign where it takes the dip. I guess, you know, showing some skin, maybe help. I don't know.
Always. Yeah, well, we all know Cheesecake sells comics. Everybody knows that.
So. Yeah, so Savage Sandbox, little update.
Yeah, what is that? I've heard about it. What is it?
It's this group of jerks Don't even pay attention.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
It's a meathead bro club.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of jocks, right?
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
They fist bump and chest bump the entire time. There's really no content to their comic books. They meet up at
Fist bump
Comic
and
Con
chest bump.
just to practice their fist pumps.
Yeah.
No, but so I've got a meeting on Monday for another distributor, which is really cool news. I don't think we talk enough about Savage Sandbox. So as much as I'd love to talk about my Kickstarter and where you're at on your Kickstarter, I think it'd be kind of cool if we talk about our little group, since you and I kind of co-head that thing up, and then we have the rest of the guys, Jerry and all them. But for those of you that don't know, Savage Sandbox is not a publisher, but it is our distribution channel. And yes, we do Comic Cons, and yes, we do, I guess, chest bump. But the problem with that is, if you chest bump me, it's like my head slamming your chest. You know,
I wasn't going to say it. I was actually going to be good. This is your live stuff.
It is. I've taken over. Me and Dennis, we're about the same height. I think we can do it, but I can't chest bump you. No, it'll end it.
You just need a chair. But
yeah, I need to jump on the chair. But yeah, so I'm looking at trying once Kickstarter's over, and after April, I talked to Drew. Drew's going to get me some of his books, and we're going to look at Diamond, so we can finally get that off the ground. And,
yeah, I mean, out of all of us, I think Drew's got the largest catalog, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I've got to get the logo on his books before I can send it to Diamond, or they're going to ask me what the heck I'm sending. So we'll get that. And then, yeah, so it's moving along. Did we set a date for another ALEX?
No, we have to set one for April. So it usually falls on the. Sorry, I'm digging. I have a box behind me with comics I'm trying to get out. Speaking of comics, I got some really cool ones in the mail. Did you get Golden Arm?
I haven't gotten it yet. No.
Yeah, Golden Arm came yesterday.
I got this one, which I
got Nightfall too. Yeah.
Awakened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta really start. It's so hard to say, hey, to all your peers, and be like, hey, I got your book. Let me post about your book when you're so stuck doing your own stuff. It's definitely not personal. It's not personal to anybody. I just want to try to get your own stuff done, and then you can talk about other people's stuff.
Exactly. I gotta get everybody's stuff done. I want to get you and Jerry completely finished this weekend.
Well, you have to get the 8 pages first. So.
Well, I just want to get the pages you've given me done completely.
Yeah. The last 2 pages, obviously, Sleek is inking those, but I'll have the line art those too. I'm giving those to him ahead of time. I've actually inked those before I finish the rest of them, just so he can have them and spend the time he needs to spend on them, because he's still doing our trading cards and all that stuff. So.
Trading cards are fun. I gotta find something else I want to do next.
You gave us the template for the trading card, right? You gave it to me and I sent it to him. The actual parameters for what we use with Aaron, right? Okay.
I'm gonna invite you.
All right, do that, Jerry. So I want to. Actually, I was looking at today because I saw that you had your trading cards in the sleeve, in a binder sleeve, or are they meant to go in a binder? Or there he is driving. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got 5 minutes of my time. What's up?
5 minutes of your time.
We are blessed with the presence of Jerry from E4 Comic Books.
That's right.
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Is this a random been a while since we've all been able to talk, since we've all had our heads down in our own projects.
Random-ish.
Yeah.
Chris planned it today, but he only dropped knowledge on it to the general public 5 minutes before going live.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, I was working, and I literally thought it was like 5 o'clock. I looked down, I'm like, crap, it's already 7.
That happened to me. That happened to me yesterday. I was inking. I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. I looked, it was like 5:30. I'm like, oh my god, my whole day was just shot.
Yo.
Well, I try to put aside an hour. Like, I'll wake up in the morning, and I'll draw for an hour, because that's really the only time during the day I get to do anything creative,
Yeah,
because work. And this morning, I looked down, I'm like, man, I've been doing this 2 hours. Crap. And I have, like, notifications going off on the computer. Both cell phones are blowing up. I'm like, oh, man, I'm like, so far behind. Today was just a mess. But
I was working on this one today. Ooh, sneak peek.
oh, nice. Yeah, I'm stealing a page of you and Dennis's book. I decided with this one, I'm going to print everything out and get one of those big binders for it, because I'm really
That's
proud.
even I said that a while ago, and then Dennis had also done it. Even when my next book's going to be done digitally, I'm still printing that shit. I'm printing the line art because the printer I have is a wide format 11 by
Mhm.
17 printer, and it can print on comic boards. So
Oh
I can
wow.
actually drop them on a comic boards if I wanted to. So I'm totally doing it. Just I'm not. I like having, and when you bring in like cons and stuff, people like seeing that stuff. They really like seeing that detail, and see one thing starts as this and becomes something that else. So,
Yo, Jason, aren't
so
you
yeah,
done with Resurgence?
I am. I'm inking, just inking,
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah,
inking
there's
it. The pencils are all
there's always a
pencils are all
process
done.
to the art. It's,
Yeah, yeah. Well, the good news is with digitally, I can just draw with the ink. I could just use a black pen and draw it. I could save myself an entire step. I could do a layer of blue pencil and then just go right to the inking stage and just save all that damn freaking pencil dust. Like that's what I'm struggling with now because cleaning these panels up. There's so much. It's okay. It's partially my fault because I was using the wrong type of lead. I was using HB lead instead of 2H, and HB is notoriously dusty. Graphite gets everywhere, and so I didn't realize that until pretty much 3 pages before I was done with the book. So now I realize where everything was so damn dusty when I was working on it. But yeah,
Working makes
Dork
a
Art,
fucking
what's up, man?
sense.
Yo, how's the
Yeah.
Kickstarter going, Chris?
it's going better today. We went up 2 backers and back over 3,500. You always have those cancellations and
Yeah, it sucks though when it happens.
I got
sorry,
2 cancellations. I got
but
7 payment issues.
Oh yeah, you
That
got to chase some folks down sometimes with that, and because I mean, their cards change, things happen.
hmm
What's up, Mike? What's up, Robert?
Natalie
I
said,
mean,
God,
stuff happens.
the best was so on
Natalie,
the last Kickstarter, I had 3 $1 backers that the card failed.
that happened to me. That happened to me on Hunter's Moon. I had one person for like a $3 for the digital. I'm like, $3. Like, it's just usually the card. Well, it's just usually the card issue. It's usually always just the card.
hmm
I found out that a lot of times the expiration date, they got a new card in between the month that that happened or whatever, and it's just
Mhm.
it's just little things.
You can
But
cut
yeah,
the part.
I'm about to drop tomorrow. I'm working on it tonight. I'm doing a last minute tier with a few additional items, and I've got the permission from the guy who's done the music for me to do a free digital download on the song, the Crit song. So we'll have our own soundtrack available to everybody. If you like, orchestrated metal, it'll be a little download song. I have to figure out the name that I want to use for it.
Having
But
your own music for your characters, that's cool. It's a cool thing,
yeah,
definitely.
I'm hoping,
So,
and my wife's in here, so I'm probably going to get, a look when she gets home because of all the time that I do not have in my life. But I've told everybody my band is doing this final reunion show in October, and I'm kind of hoping that we can start a new project, not necessarily carry on the old project, but maybe have some fun together and write some music remotely now because we're all in different stages of our life. But
Jerry loves doing this. He loves flipping the camera all over the place. This is
oh,
like
I know,
literally his
right?
thing.
Um,
So,
but we all have like home recording studios now. So I was like, it'd be kind of cool if we could write something together, and then I could use that since the band's name was My Hero Is Me. So it'd be kind of cool to have
Oh,
Hero.
look at that. He's kind of
Look at that
homey.
rocking the SSD.
Look at that.
But yeah,
Gotta
that'd be
represent.
something to get there. Yeah, if we can write music, it'd be cool to write like songs based on the comic books, because I could have Natalie sing on it, or we can get like guest vocalists to come in and sing about comic book stuff.
Hey, well, I got Jerry. I got to give him a shout out publicly. Thanks for this. I love this damn thing. So he sends me.
problem, bro.
He sends me the drag. It's a letter opener.
This
thing is
awesome.
like This thing is like die-cast metal, and it's just conveniently the size of like certain scale action figures could hold. But this thing is like heavy, man. Like. Yeah, this is cool, and it sits up on the side, like up on my shelf. Man, this is badass. This is cool. This is really
No problem, man.
He asked me, he's like, "You have a dragon dagger?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I never bought one." I said, "Being as much of a Green Ranger fan as I am, he's surprised I wouldn't have one." But he goes, "Oh, I was just wondering," and that was it. So,
I have never gotten into Power Rangers, but I always wanted the green Megazord thing.
what, the Dragon Zord? Yeah,
Yeah, the Dragon
of
Zord.
course.
I like
It's
the design.
Godzilla. It's literally Mecha Godzilla. It had missile.
You're shaking
I was
your
just
head.
watching it the other day.
I was never a
watching it.
Power Rangers kind of guy. I love
Yeah.
Voltron though. I grew up on
Oh,
Voltron.
yeah. Well, that's all. It's all Japanese. Everything in Japan has to break into pieces and become a giant robot. That's just how things work.
Yeah.
But
I want to steal that. I want to do it. So at one point we wanted to do a campaign like Voltron, where we had to the main portion of the story was us uncovering these ancient robotic relics that we could pilot, and we tried to make the mechanics for the game, and it was just way too hard.
that's literally Voltron.
Well, yeah, if we wanted to just play Voltron.
And every season of Power Rangers.
I was like, yeah, I just want to have like this giant robot that I get to control.
No, you should have them pilot individual mech suits that combine to be one giant mech suit. That's what you need.
Well, yeah, it was going to do that, but the mechanics are ridiculously hard.
Because everyone doesn't realize there was a third Voltron that was
All
made
right,
up
guys,
of
I'm going to
three
call you
robots.
guys later, all right?
All right, buddy.
All right,
See you, man. Yeah, there was a third Voltron that was two. There was the lions, there was the vehicles, and then there was one that was three robots that made up one. Just dropping that knowledge. So.
Also, if anybody has any questions about comic books, titles, and things like that, throw them in the comments there, or the question box. So, where's Convictor going next? We'll talk about our titles, since we always get off on tangents about everything else.
Crazy. That's where it's going. Oh, you said Convictor. I think it meant me. Yeah, well, both. But literally, the Convictor going next after Resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Next, he's literally going crazy. He's going up against my favorite villain that I have, and so it's going to be wacky. It's going to be wacky. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be psychotic. It's going to be as bad as Resurgence is. Brutality-wise, this book will carry on very much the same tradition. The difference is where the Convictor is brutalizing someone, he doesn't say much. Now, his other character, when he's brutalizing someone, he doesn't shut up. And so very much kind of like Deadpool in that sense. He doesn't talk a lot. Almost, not breaking the fourth wall or any shit like that. But, yeah, that's where it's going. Literally going nuts.
You must be very happy about that, being able to elaborate on all the more gruesome, brutal parts. And I think what's kind of cool about the dynamic you explained with that character is they're both very brutal characters, but it shows that Convictor is that way for a reason and only towards a certain group, whereas it seems this guy is more like the Joker, very chaotic. And
every for him, everyone's a target. I can't say why, because that's literally in the end of Resurgence. That's literally discussed. Like he literally says the very last line of that book. He says something, and hopefully I've done my job and it's a swerve, and hopefully that the people that are fans of the Convictor that have read the books and have heard me talk and just read the stuff that I put on Instagram or talk about on Phalanx or on other interviews and stuff like that, hopefully folks are picking up what I'm putting down, if you will, when I say he's an avatar, when I say he's this, I say he does this for a reason. So I hopefully when Happy Boy says, he says this really happy boy says this stuff, and he's so excited to say it at the end. I hope it swerves everybody. So I really do. I hope it'll click some switches, and they're like, that guy's really, really happy to say this, and then they'll understand that what he's saying has a little bit of a hook to it, like there's a barb to it. So, what comic villain do you feel you are the most like? What comic villain do I feel I am the most like? Jesus, I don't think I'm a villain. I don't know. Chris and I had this conversation yesterday. I don't know if he was a villain, but he sure as hell was by the end of the show. Guardians of Justice. Boy, I said to Chris,
surprised with that show.
I told you it was so bad it was good. It was so good. If you guys haven't watched Guardians of Justice on Netflix, you gotta watch it. It is like, it's everything. Like it's set in the 80s. It's they use different forms of animation and live action, and it's got cool graphics and Mortal Kombat like kills, and all the people have power meter. It is a goddamn wild ride. And you got Diamond Dallas Page playing a version of Batman, which is freaking excellent to me. So if I was any villain, I guess I'd be Nighthawk from that, because he literally, that for the most part, 99% of that guy spoke to me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
It was
I
good.
put it on a background the other night when I was drawing, and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
The overall story, no matter what the graphics, what the acting, the overall story was actually really had a mark to hit. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. It was like Watchmen a bit, and it was really, it's like, total power, totally, all that kind of shit. And it was just good. I really liked it. I'm gonna watch it again. I hope there's a second season. I doubt it though. I don't know how there could be.
So, the main guy who, what's up, Gary?
Gary.
I can't think of the actor's name, but
there's a lot of really big actors in it. Like, he's a really big time. He's done a lot of good shit.
He was in what's that show with the sleeves in the neck?
Was that him, or was he? Oh, he was in Altered Carbon.
Yeah, he was the main version.
He was the main guy, right?
Yeah, I love him. And I really love the actor. He's also in The Good Doctor, and I just really like that actor. So that's why when I saw
he's a good actor.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out, because he's a cool dude. And I was a bit bummed, to be honest with you, when they discontinued the show, because Altered Carbon, because I really like the character.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but they always get rid of stuff that people like. What are we talking about? Anything?
Yeah, we're talking about comic books, and I got on to like what villain you're most like.
So I'm his villain. I said I was like Nighthawk from Guardians of Justice. So,
I don't know what villain I would be like, to be honest.
That's the only one I could think of, because he wasn't really a villain. He was just a uber super dark vigilante, but
I always liked, and I know you haven't seen it, but I'm sure you can ask your daughter. I really like the villain. What's his name? Dang it, Stain from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, she talks about. Yeah, she's mentioned him. Yep.
Yeah, Stain is cool because he doesn't like false heroes, and so I can kind of relate to that. Like the guys that are out there that. And actually, it's funny, Brad and I talked about this last weekend, too. Heroes that have, like, a selfish motivation. And I enjoyed his story arc. I don't really see myself as a villain, though. But, yeah, he was asking me what I thought. What alignment I thought Batman was. And I was like, oh, he's lawful evil out the gate. The dude is selfish in
Yeah.
motivations. You can
Yeah. Oh
say
yeah.
what you want about Batman being a good guy. He might do good things, but at the core of it, he's always trying to make up for the death of his parents. Like, if you were in trouble and Bruce Wayne's parents had never died, he would never come save you because he just never cared until he lost everything. Jinx
Actually, you
Market,
know what? I
that's a good
just realized, since you talk about Batman, I forgot. I've always said this. Thomas Wayne is my Batman. Like he's villainish. So Thomas Wayne,
Oh
like yeah, I freaking love that version of Batman. Like if I ever was gonna cosplay, that would be the one. That'd be the Batman I'd be. So
Oh, I got something. Let me show you.
and or Megatron. I also identify with Megatron. Megatron's not a bad guy. He's just his motives are severe. That's all.
So, speaking of, I just got in the mail my Thomas Wayne.
Oh, you got the one with the guns. Good, because now
Yep,
they're
I
not
got the one with
making
the
them
guns.
without. They're making. Yeah, I got him. He's
You're
right,
allowed.
right behind me. He's up
Yep.
there.
And then I got Redeemer.
I have that. I have it hidden somewhere at a store, and I was there at that store today, and I meant to pick it up, and you just reminded me that I forgot to get it. So
I am. So those of you that don't know, my favorite
Redeemer's
fighting
cool.
game is Mortal Kombat. Actually, most of my designs are always based off Mortal Kombat. But
He's Clank the Paranoid. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
love.
So you went? Where'd you go to Target? You went Target?
No, these were all on. I get like notifications sometimes about big sales, and
Yeah.
this is my favorite Mortal Kombat character right here.
Noob
Side.
Sabat, yeah.
Yep. Then I got like a notification. There was like a 50% off on all
See
these
that, Mike?
things.
Yeah.
So
No,
they were
really?
like,
Oh, is
yeah,
that from McFarlane? McFarlane Toys, right?
McFarlane. Yeah, he had a clearance thing
Yeah.
going on, and
God
so
damn it.
I had some
'Cause
Christmas money that I hadn't spent, and I was like, screw it.
his Red Hood looks badass, except he doesn't come with guns, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But he gave him.
Little Mike.
I'm not gonna lie. They gave him. Fucking pistol fingers though, which is freaking funny as hell to me. You couldn't
That's
give
like,
him two
yeah.
blasts. They gave him two. Yeah, I was like, that's cool though. They gave him two fingers like that, two hands.
Well, he's gotten away from putting guns in there,
Yeah, yeah, they're just not
which I
doing
don't understand. But
it. Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole subject for. That's a subject for phalanx or something.
yeah, well,
But,
yeah. There's always a new subject for phalanx, but yeah.
yep, yep, yep,
So
yep.
another cool figurine I got a while back. Do you remember these guys?
Yeah, those. That's the ones from the extended universe. That's
Well,
right.
they were in one of the movies, I think.
Oh
and
no,
this
no, no! I know that, but I'm saying there was two non-canon books now that there was two
and
Imperial.
comic. Yeah, Connor Jax
Yeah,
was the character
Jax
in the
and
book.
right. The
And
Imperial Guards are badass. I actually like the Senate Guards that were before them.
yeah,
The Senate Palace Guards, like those ones, I love those guys. The blue with the black shield, they look badass.
the story behind them always, I just loved how they were born and raised to kill Jedi.
Yeah,
They're like the anti-force users, and I think that was like something that really got me. But I actually have a drawing I want to show you that how much I really like these characters. We had a
even though
campaign.
they can't turn their head, they have to fight like '89 Batman, like
Well,
cheating Batman.
so we know with the Mandalorians, and there's another race, and I always freaking forget their stupid name. They're like the opposite of the Mandalorians, right? So the Mandalorians are raised from birth like heavy weaponry and everything, and they're heavily combat orientated. Well, the race that make up those guards are actually from a neighboring planet to Mandalore, and they're raised to use their senses, and they have a strict code of honor with their combat skills, and they're not the Chiss. I can't freaking remember. I have it written down somewhere. because the name just slips my mind. But I made a character in D&D once that was that race, and he was so anti-technology. Here he is. This was just a quick sketch I had made during the campaign. This was my character.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
And his name was Lale Lulelo from Metal Gear, if you know Metal Gear. Huge fan of Metal Gear. And I called his nickname was Lalo because he always ducked under fire, never used any firearms or anything. Was all close quarters combat. And I got into a fight with a Sith witch, or a Force witch, and she used her lightsaber on me. I rolled terribly, and she wound up slicing my eyes, so I couldn't see. And Brad really wanted us to use like cybernetics, and my character, I was playing very true to the character's lore, and it was sketchy. And I refused to get cybernetic eyes. I wanted to use my senses only. It was a pain in the neck, but he let me actually do it. And we wound up sadly canceling that campaign about five games in. But I really liked that character and like the whole lore behind those characters alone. The whole idea that they're raised from birth to guard the Emperor was pretty badass.
I think there's a deleted scene, Return of the Jedi or something, where they tried to punk Vader when he brought Luke to Endor and to go see the Emperor. Maybe. Because there was a commander came down to them and he didn't want Vader to go as Luke was going to, it was something to do with the elevator, vaguely remember, and Vader's he didn't do anything to him, but no one punks Vader, so especially when it comes to his kid, and they end up backing down. But they stepped up to him though, which was pretty impressive. But then you got Yoda who just throws him against the damn wall.
See, awesome. In the new trilogy, it really made me mad because Snoke's guards were based off of them, and they just went through them. Now, I'm not going to go into them editing out.
Well, that fight wasn't. It wasn't it was. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. Yeah.
What is my preference with characters I've created? And if you're, I've made a lot of characters for D&D. Yeah. So if I were to say what my preferred character type is, I like damage dealing types. Personally, if we're talking about like RPGs, I'm the guy who plays the tank.
Yeah, me too, Jerry. Obi-Wan. Yeah, boy. That's going to mess up some continuity, I have a feeling now. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of
whining about that show, just like there was Boba Fett. And given
they made a show about Boba Fett, and I heard all the bitching. I didn't watch it yet, but the main bitching was he talked too much, and he didn't do enough. He was barely in it, but yet he was barely in the movies too. So yeah. I mean, you want a movie about a guy you don't see and doesn't talk? I don't know. I mean, how do you flesh out a character?
Well, they did it already. The problem they had with Boba Fett was we got the Boba Fett we wanted, but he was called the Mandalorian.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
And they can't they just couldn't make Boba Fett the Mandalorian. You got a little bit of a backstory and a character growth with the cartoons because they showed him as a kid. They showed him in the bounty hunter thing. The problem that we had was that when they showed him as an adult, it was very disconnected from that angsty young kid that you saw because there's this huge gap in time. So you don't know how he goes from that to riding a band.
Whatever. Like I said, I don't care. I like the actor. I love Tamara Morrison, so whatever.
He wanted to bring some of his culture into the character, and I thought it was good. I like the fact that they didn't give us the Mandalorian, like Boba Fett wasn't just the Mandalorian.
Well, people were all fat shaming him for what he looked like in the Mandalorian, not realizing that was all padding, and that for real the guy himself is actually pretty ripped for his age. Like,
Yeah,
fans are toxic as fuck, man. Star Wars fans are literally, as a Star Wars fan, are literally the worst fans ever. So, they are
I will
super
agree with
toxic.
you. It's like there are things worthy of complaining about, like
Right.
Leia. That's worth complaining about. Um, Changing continuity as far as how starships work. I'll
I don't
complain
know.
about that.
Return of the Jedi, Leia, can we still call her slave girl outfit? I mean, I don't say that anymore. Like, I can't never remember.
Slave is
But
not a word you can use, even though it's a fictional universe.
okay, then Leia in the bikini, like that was the moment you came in and you saw a shot. I literally remember that's the moment I hit puberty. It was like that was like I would never forget it. I was in the movie theater and I was just like, what's going on? I'll never forget it. I'm like, well, this is cool. She's my new favorite character. So, yeah, kids.
See, I was I was a young kid when those came out, and I think every young boy was like, "Oh my god!" Now apparently it was like something that was like
Now you
leaked.
grow up, you go out and you buy the outfit for your wife. That's what everyone does. Everyone knows that. So, exactly.
No comment. She's because she's in the comment. But yeah, the Leia was always like, I don't know. I always liked how they did the story of Leia too. How she was like that. Um, the guys on, yeah.
Yeah, people are just ridiculous. You don't like these fans. Like I don't know, and I bet you he would beat the brakes off most of these whining neckbeards that were complaining about him and all that shit. So, but the dude's like, bro, he's like Maury. He'll kill you. He's Kiwi as fuck. But
He's a badass. Honestly, like if
yes,
you
he is
watch
a
them
badass.
do yeah, he does a lot of his own fighting and stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, one character that was like not she was, I guess some people gave her enough credit, but the woman, what's her name? I can't think of the actress's name that was in that.
Oh, yeah, Ming.
Ming Na Wen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let me tell you something. You talk about somebody that's a legit badass too. Like that chick is
and
like
she's like
almost 60 years
62.
old, and she looked fucking amazing. So she is sexy as hell.
Well, just that she was doing
And
like a lot of her own stunt work. I mean,
yeah, she's a badass. She's a straight up badass. She is like she's the
I will.
only designation to be in Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars. She's the Triple
Oh yeah.
Crown. Yeah, she's been in all three franchises.
I like how Jerry says you can't complain it's new Star Wars content. I will complain about new Star Wars content. I just won't complain about
Ah,
Star Wars content that's actually like decent. When
yeah.
they start messing with my starships and messing with my characters, I get a little bit mad when Leia just all of a sudden can do more than Luke. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on that.
Hey, speaking of Hollywood studios, you wanna book to stay in the Galactic Star Cruiser that's like $8,000 a night and doesn't even look like any vehicle you've ever seen from Star Wars.
And I could literally go down to a cosplay convention and see better costumes.
There is no starship in any of classification of Star Wars, any vessel that you've seen to date that looks anything remotely. The aesthetics are completely wrong for that thing in Hollywood studios. But whatever. Okay, enough. All right, I'm done. I talk about toxic fans enough. She's
I think there's a difference between being unhappy with things and being toxic. Because I don't say Star Wars as a whole sucks, and I don't say
yeah.
the Disney's trilogy was not great. And anybody that argues that it was great, if you put it out, if you take the Disney or if you take the Star Wars name off of it, you would have decent movies. And I said that about Last Jedi. I hated the Last Jedi, but if you took the Star Wars name off of it, it wasn't bad.
Well, thanks to Doctor Strange and all that shit, they can just chalk that up to a multiverse movie, right?
So,
It's a Star Wars
yeah,
multiverse now. Doctor Strange did it all, right? Every Disney property.
don't even.
Thanks,
And
thanks, thanks, Spider-Man.
now, I forget what movie I saw that was just so bad. It was I'll probably get shit on for this one, which I'm fine with. The Eternals, okay? So, what's so lovely about your character, and why should we buy your book? Okay, I'll bite on that one.
Yeah, that's a
What's
good
so
one.
lovely
That's
about
a good
my
question.
characters are that they are based on real people and acted by real people. My book isn't written from a first person perspective or a third person. My book is written from a first person perspective. So every character you read is played at a table by people who are these characters. The whole premise is, if you were given superpowers, what would you do?
Sub-Drew.
And so when you're reading Crit, you're reading things that unfold at the mercy of the die rolls and by chance, and it's an organic type of storytelling. And I've talked a lot about this recently, and I don't do it enough on my own live, so I guess I should really start doing more of this. Is we translate Dungeons and Dragons into a comic book. The comic book would not exist without the game. And so, it's all recorded at the table, and we're 2 years ahead of where the book is, really. So when you're reading the book, you're reading exactly what transpired at the table. You're getting to see the bad die rolls my friends make, and you get to see me try and kill them with different enemies throughout the entire series. I think what's unique about our characters are every single one of them has their own personality, and that you can ask Jason because he's read this book, or if you talk to anybody that's read Crit, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we get is that you can tell their friend just by how they interact with each other, and that the interactions between characters are all unique. So how Boulder and Spectre talk is different than how Caliber and Boulder would interact, and how enemies is different. So you get more of a unique experience versus picking up a superhero book that has one writer and maybe an editor. You're getting a collaborative storytelling. I think that's what sets us apart from all the other superhero books that are out there. And why should you pick out our book? Because who else has an alcoholic, cigar-smoking cat? Nobody else. If they do, I'm going to send a cease and desist.
There you go. So, why should you care about my book? Well, my book is a 38-year passion project. So, 38 years. Character right here, the Convictor, I created when I was a wee lad of 10 years old. And then I spent the next, 20-something years of my life refining the character, drawing the character, making ash can comics for my friends in high school, and all that stuff. And then, I get married, have children, forget about comics. 20 years later, I decide that I'm going to make a comic, and I made a comic. So this is literally right here, 38 years in the making, this book right here. And I was only going to do one, and now I'm doing, it's a series. So that's why. If you like ninjas, and you like Ninja Turtles and Daredevil and Dark Vigilantes and even little supernatural aspects, this is your book right here. This is it. So that's my weakest pitch.
You literally just reminded me. I've got to make the T-shirt. Do you like D&D?
You do. You gotta make it.
I totally forgot. That's like my pitch now is, do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Because if you do, you'll like Crit.
That is your pitch. That is the pitch. So, hey, you like D&D?
I need that T-shirt.
Yeah. Hey, also my book, I got Dracula, so I got that going too. So.
You do. You do have Dracula, and you have a really cool werewolf, and you have a bunch of dead people too.
I have there's more dead people in any Convictor book than you'll find in most books. So, especially the next book. It's littered with them.
Yeah. Yeah, Convictor going strong for another 38 years.
All right. I don't know about that, Chris. I don't know. I appreciate the really the belief in that's going to happen. So if I make it another 30 years, I'll be thrilled. So. long as I get the Convictor story done, like I said, I got, 12 more books to do. When I get that done, I'll be happy. I can work on other stuff. So, Convictor is finite. He has, his trajectory.
I think that's another thing about indie comics that is unique is most of us have a start and a stop. And that's not a play on words for a character named Stop, who shouldn't exist to begin with because it's a ripoff and a piece of shit, but I'm not going to go any further. You know what? This is my life. Fuck that kid for unblocking people and wanting to come back. Fuck him.
No, he's doing that. He's doing that because he's up to something. So he wants you to see what he does next. That's what it is.
Man,
well, you should be careful because I got words for him. There's 2 words you should be familiar with: cease and desist. So some of us don't play games with our characters, and some of us actually have legal backing when it comes to ours. So, and special things called copywritten and trademarks. You should be careful.
Yeah. I literally am sitting here trying to figure out how I want to design this shirt now. For all of you that don't know, Jason makes fun of me because every time, when we were at a Comic-Con together, I was at the table and how I greeted people was, so do you like D&D? And I sold the most books. But
right on,
you're also at a fantasy
absolutely,
convention.
Absolutely. Dead on.
And we don't have to restart our characters like 50 times just because
exactly
the storyline sucks. I'll retire a character if they suck. Speaking of retired characters, so I submitted the first script for Mr. Wizard and Friends.
The characters are cool. They're really cool. Like I'm really digging the. I know he's what is he, a thief type, but the guy looks a little ninja-ish. Yeah, he's. I'm liking he's got like the Japanese mask, the Tengu mask. It's cool. So
I designed all those characters. I showed Dan on his live yesterday. I put the artwork away, and I'm not going to dig through this, but it's actually my live, so I probably should. But
he said that again. It's actually my live, so I probably should.
I don't do my own live
twice
anymore.
in 5 minutes.
So this was what I drew at the table.
That's great.
It's terrible. It's utterly terrible, and I described it as a 4-year-old could vomit and do something better. It was just what I was like sketching one day when we were playing. So, and this is a year before I even started working on Crit. But, we never had this idea that it would go anywhere. So I just doodled for headcanon what these characters look like. And so Robert, who's working on the pages for me, was like, so what do these characters look like? I was like, you know what? I remember drawing something at the table. And I, in my head, thought that my artistic ability at that point was a lot better than it was. And I've told people at Star Wars shirt, at a Star Wars fan, check out my book, Latex Event. I like that. But I picked up that piece of paper, and I messaged Robert, and I was like, I'm going to have to redraw all of these because I'm not giving you these sketches. He goes, why not? I'm like, you literally would laugh at me. I'm not doing this. And so Saturday morning, he said, hey, where are these designs? I want to see these designs. He was like, playfully bugging me. And so I was watching something on TV, and I just quickly sketched out these things, and I sent them to the guys, and I said, nobody gets a say. This is what your character looks like. If you you have a say, but you don't have a say for like 5 minutes before I send these to Robert. And nobody argued. His kid was like, my guy looks so basic. I'm like, his name is just Alan. Like, I wanted to.
It just sounds funny, though.
Well, it was funny because we were talking. He goes, the only thing I really remember about that game was I turned into a bear a lot. I'm like, yeah, you turned into a bear and you turned into a bird. And that's it. So he's like a druid kind of character. And we left him with this ability to turn into a bear, turn into a bird. And I think at one point he gets like a wolf friend familiar thing. Later, Jerry.
See you, buddy.
So, I'm going to kind of consolidate some of the storytelling because I have all the campaigns. At that point, when we were playing, I would type everything. So while we were playing, I would type out everything that happened, and I have everything literally detailed out. So it won't be hard to make these scripts. But I'm trying to consolidate it. So it's like think Sunday morning cartoon, very linear story for every episode, and
Well, I think the hat on Mr. Wizard's cool too. 'Cause it's got the little Gandalf kind of, got the little twist. That's cool. Very old
it's smoking
world.
a
Cool.
cigarette, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when we were first talking about characters when we were playing the game, Brad was like, "I want to be this like crusty old like sheriff type with a swooshy mustache," and so I had to give him the cool like curly mustache.
That's cool.
But I am
Yeah,
really
you look
stoked to
cool.
get back there because it
I
so
really,
different.
I can't wait. Especially now I'm jumping on this. I can't wait. Once I'm done inking these, now obviously I'm starting my other book, but I like just being able to like just sketch out characters, for references and stuff.
Mhm.
Because I get asked that a lot. Like, yeah, I could tell you everything the character has, but it doesn't help you who wants to draw it or color it or something for me. I would really like to have all that available. And so
Most difficult thing when you started creating your book,
for me,
learning how
when
to
I
draw.
went when I went to Kickstarter for my book, like even though like I said I drew this is years ago in different little black and white books and stuff, but I mean when I went to make an official comic book for my first book, Hunter's Moon, getting my most difficult thing is having reliable teammates. So that was my big issue, like making sure everyone was on the same page for the guys that I had. And we had 1 out of you know 3 ain't bad. So. But yeah, so that was my biggest thing, making sure that everyone's locked down for the same goal. So that was my biggest challenge. And then obviously that creates a snowball effect, and then you got to shift personnel and whatever. So that for me, that was the biggest for me.
I'd say for me, it was really like learning how to draw and how to get people interested in what we were doing. Because I mean, realistically, if you're going to sit down and write the story before you start sketching everything out, you should have a well thought out story. So I won't talk about writing or creating characters. Okay, so what about the story? I have a completely different storytelling aspect than Jason because mine is told with D&D. So I have to write scenarios, and my players dictate how those scenarios turn out. Whereas Jason had to plot out an entire story arc and really develop a character through the story arc.
Yeah, unintended. Yeah, definitely.
There's
Yeah,
so many
from
different ways to tell a story, and I think that's one thing I've learned with you over the past almost 3 years is there's everyone has a different way of telling their story. I think
yeah,
the best way is to always come up with an idea, bounce it off people, take their feedback, grow your idea, and continuing to just grow that idea into something that you feel comfortable really presenting.
right.
Because I remember when
Yeah,
you first picked Hunter's Moon, it wasn't going to be 36 pages. It was going to be like 10.
well, yeah, exactly, because I made a choice early on before we went to Kickstarter with that book. Like I mean, yes, it grew during the Kickstarter because again, we had to find a different team member, so that gave me an opportunity to kind of rework the story in the interim and make it what I thought was a better book, tell a better story. But yeah, originally that first book was just going to be a for fun book. It wasn't going to be anything to do with continuity, and I decided at a certain point that I could make it work, and I had to take all of my major players in my entire story arc that I have, and then kind of like map it out to where they're at and decide would Dracula and a werewolf fit into this overall larger picture? Are they a one and done thing, or could I make them literally fit in to again to the larger arc? And I was able to do that. I was able to work Dracula into in my universe he's an elder, considered an elder from. That's all I can say right now. But it comes out. But he's an elder being, and obviously he's the first vampire, clearly. But yeah, so I had to make sure, and I said early on, I said this would fit if I can just move a couple things and shift a couple things. This will fit, and then we there we are. We were able to make it a complete part of the overall story, and I was very happy for that. So it became my first book. I always say, so I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the story. That's how it was for me.
I'm going to answer Dennis's question for him real quick. So Dennis, I had extended the date out until the 28th. So everybody's got till Monday to get their designs in, their submissions in. And I actually solidified a live with D on Tuesday. So on Tuesday on my live with D, I will announce the winner. So if anybody is still looking to submit some character designs, some villain designs for the DTIYS contest, go ahead, send them over to the Instagram and or email them to me, homebrewedcomics@gmail.com, and I'm going to announce that winner. So Tuesday night. This is good from Official J. Have a 30-second or one sentence pitch. Make sure you always bring your own excitement, because if you can't be excited, no one else will be either. And
True.
A big thing is planning. I'm blessed with the fact that we have 30-plus books already written, and I just have to plot them out and plan them as they go. That also gives me a lot of room to fix some storytelling, because the longer you tell a story, the more apt you are to find mistakes within your own story. So if you're going down and you're like me, like I said, I actually have recordings, and I have a list in our D&D file of every game and what transpires in the game. So I know that, hey, this character dies at this point in time, or I know that we introduce a certain level of technology at certain points. And that way, if say we played and we retconned something, and on the recording I forget that it was retconned, I can go back in and see those notes and go, okay, well, we need to adjust this, we need to fix this, because this isn't introduced now and come back later. Or Brad and I decided that, because a character we had created in the story, now further on in the story, creates a storytelling problem. And I'm sure, Jason, you can relate to this. Like, when you make a character that you think is really cool, and they have a certain power set, or they have a certain ability, or even just their place in the world, and you find out later that them just existing creates a storytelling plot hole for later on.
Well, that's where I was with Hunter's Moon. I had to make sure that didn't happen. Like what Jay says here, like, I have all my books planned out. I have the entire arc is planned out. Yes, I could shift some things, and some of it's a little fluid, if there was another book placed in there. But overall, I had to make sure that didn't happen. That's because, Dracula himself is an incredibly powerful character. So they introduced someone, you saw in the book, if you have the book, you saw he does things that no one, at least any other Dracula I've never seen do. But I've took my Dracula can. So my interpretation of it. So I had to make sure, like, a being this powerful, like, he has to, not create, because he could create a void, within the other major players that I have in the overall story. So I definitely get that. It can definitely happen.
I had to kill. We were working on killing a character off anyway, because story-wise, and this happens in game, so I'm planning like the next 3 or 4 sessions of the game, because I always like to plan ahead for my session, so I know where I want to go storytelling-wise. And I had called Brad and I said, hey, I want to kill this character off, because just their very power set creates problems for something else I want to do later on. And we were like, well, story-wise, he shows up, he does this thing here, and we don't see him ever again. But his very existence just in there, and how I built him with the rule set that we built him with, he was like, maybe we can change his power set, flip it to, like, it's D&D, so just flip his power set real quick. It doesn't do anything to the story at all. No one will know which character we're talking about when the book comes out. And because he exists only in the very consolidated piece of the story, it was like, we were going to kill him here anyway. You thought he was cool, so as the DM, you were like, I want to keep this character around. And so I kept him. And he said, what if in this one moment in the game, because there was a moment where he should have died, and I was kind of thick-headed and said, no, I want to keep him around. He's like, just let him die like he should have, and then we have a closed storytelling aspect for that character. He existed. We're able to experience some of the stuff that he can be a wealth of knowledge in that one story arc. But then he dies, and we give him because where he would have died was actually pretty cool. Now that I think about it, I was like, man, that was actually pretty epic how he would have died. So we'll leave it. I'll take back my DM role, and we'll let it be. And as I was fleshing out the rest of that story up until now, I was like, wow, just that one death there makes this other piece so much more powerful. So that really helped. As far as copyright, you can do a couple things. One, post it.
Number one, if you create it,
Yep.
right? If you create it, it's copyrighted. So, but yeah, Chris was just going to say you can post if you post it online. That's an instant copyright because you can also literally officially copyright. You can literally officially copyright it. You can go, to the Library of Congress or whatever and copyright it.
Yep.
You can do the old poor man's copyright, which I've heard different rumors if it holds up or not, but I did it years ago as a kid. When I was happy, I put my character, the Convictor, I put him in an envelope, I mailed him to myself, and I've yet to open it. It's somewhere around here, and it's postmarked and everything, sometime in early 90s. So, yeah, I mean, as a poor man's, and plus anything, if you ever have to battle on whether or not this character is yours or something like that, or just like for me, I got images going back to 85, 86, especially for my villain that I'm going to debut. He goes back to 89. I have stuff to show. But yeah, there's a lot of difference. I mean, really, man, you can Google this question too. I mean, realistically, Google is a fantastic resource. And you could definitely check it out. But yeah, if you post it online, you're good. You're good. I mean, are there dirtbags out there? Of course there are. And, you stick to your guns and, you can get, I used the word cease and desist before. There are actually free services that will send a cease and desist for you. Or even a small page set like Zoom or any of those kind of services will also do that too. Or you can just create your own with your letterhead. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can prove that stuff's yours, you're good. So that's what it comes down to. I mean, I know that comics are, there's so much redundancy in comics because it's all been done. It really has. And similarities are okay. Straight up ripoffs are not. That's the difference. A similarity, it's because of the genre, and because of what you're doing. I mean, a brooding vigilante is going to be a brooding vigilante. A guy that's super strong and has laser eyes and can lift buildings and flies with a cape. It's a trope. It exists. It's okay to exist. As long as you're not calling that person Superman, or something like that, and he's got a red and blue suit, and he's got, there's certain things that you can steer away from and still keep it similar. Yeah, no problem. Glad to help. Hope it helped anyway. Yeah, similar is okay. Rip-off is not. So.
Well, take Boulder. I'm going to use Boulder as an example because...
Or the Swarm. The Swarm is...
I won't use the Swarm because he's a straight-up rip-off.
Boulder is funny. That's one of my greatest... That's one of the funniest things I ever wrote.
But if you look at Boulder's costume, it is very much influenced by All Might, which is funny because when I drew it, I had never seen All Might, and Terrell and I had gone back and forth on the design a few times, and when I finally saw All Might, I was able to kind of see where Terrell was going as he was directing my art. He was like, hey, can you do this, or can you change this? And when it was finally done, and he's like, have you seen All Might? I'm like, no, I've never seen him before. He sends me a picture, and I was like, oh, I can kind of see some similarities in there. But that's what he wanted, was a influenced character. Just because you have something that's influenced doesn't mean it's a direct ripoff. Yeah. Now, Swarm, for instance, was a ripoff And the art was
Of Spider-Man. Now, for
yeah,
context, there's a character, an indie character, that's literally Spider-Man, and he's just yellow and black, I think, or something like that. And
yellow and orange.
he's
He was
called the
yellow and
Swarm,
orange,
and he's
and he
literally the
where
Swarm is
the
also a
spider was
Spider-Man villain.
here, he had a
Was a bee,
bee where the spider
and
was.
a little bit.
Same exact design, color swapped, everything. Instead of webs, it was like honeycomb. And
Yeah.
then his powers were he could control bees, which there's already a character called Swarm that controls bees. And I think it was a joke, but
Right on,
uh,
Jay. That's it. That's exactly right.
yep, exactly.
He's right.
But
Yep. You put it out there. That's it. You are covered.
Jason, we are hitting the time mark that we wanted to stick with for tonight.
I know. And we didn't talk about anything we wanted to talk about.
Sounds about right. I'm going to let you say your spiel about the Crossfire, updates for everybody so they can know where you're at, what you're doing.
Well, Convictor Resurgence, right now, I am inking, still inking. Had a little bit of setback with the inking, just life, life happens. Inking the book, I'll have it done, have it complete inked by this weekend. I got a lot of free time coming this weekend, and even though I'm at work, I will have free time. I'll be able to ink it, get the rest of it done. I only got about another 10 pages to ink or so, maybe 11. But yes, that's good. And obviously, Chris, you're lettering it, and it's being colored by Cristiano, who says about a couple weeks we'll have it done. And so it's getting there. It's working. It's working as fast as it possibly can without being sloppy. That's what we're doing. And as soon as I would look for the backers of that, I would look for that. Probably start seeing it mid-April. I would think. I would think for sure. And if not, we what we always do. We'll send the PDF out first to everybody. That's just I do that all the time, and just so I want everybody to be able to read it before you get your physical. And that said, those of that back the Kickstarter that had like some physical items in the tier, like T-shirts and stuff like that, we're gonna start shipping those out to people. So while you're waiting on the actual comic book, we'll get out like T-shirts and the other items like that you asked for. So I'm going to be sending out reward surveys. So look for those to come out, and I'll be clear when I send it out that it's only for this. The items have to get printed by our printer. They're going to take a little time because the book is still wrapping up. So, but I want people to have something. And I'll also send out the PDFs of Hunter's Moon to those that had that in their catch-up package as well. So, but
I am going to plug away at that lettering for you and Jerry this weekend. And I've apologized 100 times. I'm sure talking to me, you both can understand my schedules and all the
man, if nobody knows a shit schedule better than me, so I don't complain about it.
I apologize for the delays on my end for you and Jerry. I really didn't expect, death on my team. I mean, every day it's something new. And that's just kind of the name of the game with work. But I sit down every weekend and dedicate hours to getting these books done. But with that being said, I'll have all your stuff caught up this weekend. My personal project, Crit, is still going live on Kickstarter right now.
Yes.
We are on the final 7 days. This is like the crunch week where everyone, that is going to back it, I hope gets in and backs it and doesn't miss that final.
Let's get it to hit 4K. That would be really awesome. It's a good book. It's a good series.
That would be the biggest campaign we've ever run. So that'd be really cool.
Well, you're only 500 hours from it. It's not unrealistic. So
we should be able to do it.
I think so.
My wife brought up a good point, and I need to be very thankful for where we're at right now, and I actually am. I'm. If the campaign ended right this minute with the 35 and change that it's at, I would be floored because I think about the people that are sitting there with these stories in their heads, never getting them out. And here we are continually funding and getting more books out to people. And I look through the backer list and I see a lot of returning backers, campaign after campaign. Mm. And that's something I only dreamed about when I put up my first Kickstarter. So before I say, hey, there's 7 more days to be part of this and looking for new backers, I want to thank the ones that we have right now, all 83 of you guys that have gone in, backed the campaign, done add-ons, picked up additional kitty cats and all that fun stuff that I've got in there. I have somebody in there with two Semettis. I was looking through it today. I was like, dang, why is this so high? I'm like, oh, he picked out 2 Semettis. So that's awesome. You know, just the fact that people are gravitating towards even our support characters is just so awesome to me. I never thought I'd be putting out my book, let alone my first chapter or anything. So we're blessed to be where we're at. But that being said, the goal every time is to get the books in more hands. So if everybody could share and just tell their friends, if you like what we got going on, if you could just give a quick share, even if you can't back the campaign, I understand finances are a thing. Sometimes sharing it is more important than even backing it. And, letting people know, hey, if you like D&D, you like fun stories, that's what we are. Yes, there's a superhero element in there at some point, but at the core of Crit is just a fun adventure. And so, I want to thank everybody. If you could get in there, share the campaign, let's have a killer last 7 days. And
I think you hit the 4K mark, no problem. It's at $500. You got 7 days. That's completely attainable. And,
a couple big backers come in last minute. There was 114 people that were watching this thing. So if just a few of them come through, I think we'll be fine. But I really want to unlock the big thing for me at 4,000 is we will get those 4 pages of Mr. Wizard and Friends. And I know I just recently started talking about it, but I never thought, if you think I never thought Crit would become a thing, I never thought we'd ever publish Mr. Wizard and Friends. I thought that would be a head story until the day I died. And
I know what that's like.
When Robert was like, hey, do you have anything that's not Crit that I have to work on? I was like, yeah, there's this. And he loved the story.
May. Chris is North Carolina.
Yep.
I'm from New Jersey. So he says with a sigh.
He's the home of Jersey Shore. I'm the home of cigarettes. So, or Krispy Kreme.
Yes. Krispy Kreme, way more important, way more life-changing. So definitely Krispy Kreme. So I'm Jersey and he's North Carolina. So that's where we're from.
And I did share the other day, we've already got the pins. I'm already starting to secure some of the stretch goals and some of the items that I don't want to wait for later, mainly because I want to be ahead of the game with fulfillment. So just so everybody knows, my head is in the game. If I'm not drawing, I'm lettering their books, working my butt off at work, or making sure I've got everything needed to be successful after this campaign's done funding. So there is no risk involved in backing the book. It will be done in your hands. Just like Jason, I talked to our caller. He's plugging away at flats right now while he's doing it. Team's just hustling along. So check it out. I went to Kickstarter. I logged out, and I typed in Crit, C-R-I-T, just to see where we fell. We are #1 if you look up Crit, which I think is awesome because Crit is such a common D&D term, and the fact that the first thing when you type that in is a comic book based on D&D. Oh, wow. Victor Medina. Dude's got some amazing colors, so that's cool. But yeah, just the fact that if you go to Kickstarter and type in Crit.
Dude, J1, I was looking at that. I think I'm in, what's the date? Sorry, I have to jump on this because it's Atlantic City. Hey, bro, I'm literally it's literally 20 minutes from my house. So, what weekend is that? It's June, right? I think it's June. I want to say the 12th or something, right? Am I wrong? Because I think I have a commitment for the 12th. And then after that, I'll be
November. No excuse. This November.
Oh, is it? Oh, wait. That's my duty weekend. Shit. November. All right. Yeah, I'll look into it. Definitely. I mean, it's like an anime con, right? Jay? Right. I think it's an anime con. But yeah, they have a lot of comic books. I know Concrete's been out there. and Concrete done Artist Alley for, I believe, for J1. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. That'd be awesome. Any chance to literally go 20 minutes from my house is a plus.
That's why I'm really excited about.
I'm in Ocean City
Yeah,
the first weekend of April, so I got an Ocean City con. So that's cool.
but yeah, so everybody go to Kickstarter, search Crit,
Yes,
CRIT.
Crit.
Please get in on it. There is a ton of free stuff right now.
Let's help them hit 4K. Come on. Your
If we
goal
break
is when you
100,
run Kickstarters, it's always nice to try to top your last Kickstarter. Again, it's not for any other reason other than to know that more people are getting their hands on your material. That's all. It's not a money game like that. Because at the end of the day, if you hit 4K, that's literally 4K worth of books that you have to distribute to awesome backers. So it's not like not like you're taking the money and rolling in it. You're not. You're literally supplying. It's a pre-order, if you will. That's what it is, a pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, if we could hit that'd be great. Every time you top your last Kickstarter, it's nice because it's more of your stuff as an artist and as a writer, creator. It's more of your stuff getting to more people's hands, and that's always, at least for me personally, I know for you too, that is literally what it's about. That's it. I just want some little,
I've had a few people ask me,
okay,
how do I make money on my campaign because the prices are so low for a 50-page book? And I'm going to tell you, I don't plan on making money. Whatever money is made on the Kickstarter goes right into the books. I haven't pulled a dime for myself.
No, I don't use matter of fact, Hunter's Moon I paid out of my pocket.
Yep.
So it's just what you do. So
Jason, Jason was one of my first backers before we were even friends. He backed Crit #1, and
we're not even friends now. But
we're not friends. We're just acquaintances, and we do live.
Right, we just work together.
But I sent him a free book. My Kickstarter didn't fund, and I still sent him a free book because he backed it on Kickstarter, and I was able to secure the money elsewhere. And I wanted to say thank you to the people that did believe in the project. That's who I am. I never want to make money. I want people to read my book. If that means I got to give it away for free, then so be it. I think
if you're passionate about your project, that is literally your only goal because it's the most rewarding thing you can do, knowing that someone's reading something that you made. There's nothing more rewarding than that. So
I had a message today and said he wanted to back the Kickstarter. He didn't have any money right now. When he gets money, he'll come back. And I said, hey, well, until then, here, check out issue 0. It costs me nothing to send a digital copy to somebody.
Yep, I've done the same. I've done the same for this, and I've done the same.
My goal is only to get people to read my book. So if you do nothing but go there and back a digital, I still thank you for that because you still want to check it out.
Absolutely.
On that note, Jason, I'm about to go eat some dinner, and I'm sure you're about to go. You just came home from your long day at work.
Yeah. No, I was off today.
Oh,
I spent a long day hanging out with my wife. She was home from school. She's on spring break, so
that's not a job. Hanging out with your wife is never a job.
No, it was good. No, we went to Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't Biscuitville, but it's all right. It was good.
I mean, not much is.
Yeah, we went to Chick-fil-A for breakfast. We dined in. It was great. Went to Target. As I said, I was at Target today. I just had a nice, we just spent some time. We are literally often 2 shifts passing in the night. We just running a different schedule. Her in school and then me working the 13-hour shifts, and so we don't always have time. We're together, and she happens to be off this week. So I said, you know what, the hell with it. We don't ever spend. Listen, something as important as making the books as a creator is your support system is more important. I can't do any of the shit I do without my support system. So I need to make sure my support system knows, and that is my wife, that she understands that I appreciate her and that I give her that we spend time together. And that's what I did today. It was definitely worth it. Yeah. So.
Same.
So that's what we did.
I'm going to go visit my support system because she's been planted in front of a computer working on a photo shoot she did for me yesterday. So,
there you go.
don't know if anybody saw that video she posted, but I'm about to share it to mine. That thing is quite the Zaka.
Quite the Zaka.
Quite
Holy
the Zaka.
Zaka. Batman.
Holy
Yeah.
Zaka. But everybody, thanks for chiming in, hanging out with us.
Yeah, really. Thanks for the awesome questions, too.
Yeah, I had a great time. We should
Yep,
just
same.
do this randomly again sometime and call it Crossing.
If it works for yeah, Crossing Streams. Yeah. Yeah, all right. You already named it. Wow, you named something this time. All right, good.
I know. I was actually hoping you'd get mad at me.
And you didn't have to roll any dice to do it. That's great.
Nope. So, Dan, everybody, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
and,
seriously, thank you. Thanks for the great questions, too. And for people that followed me on this, I got a couple followers. I will definitely follow you back. I am that person. So
Same.
as soon as I get off here, I will follow you back.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Jason, talk to you later.
Right.
Yeah, everybody. See you guys.
Later.